All right, man, peace. So Stephen A. Smith sat down with pound for pound great Terence Crawford. Let's see what he has to say.
And guess who's going to fight again? Jeff Horn. You remember what happened back on July 2nd in Australia, one of the most shocking results, biggest upsets of the year. He defeated the 8-time world champion, living legend Manny Pacquiao. Jeff Horn, the unbeaten, rugged Australian. Well, now Jeff Horn is going to put his belt on the line for his first title defense. And it's happening on ESPN against 17-win veteran Gary Corcoran. That fight will be coming to you stateside early morning Wednesday with a replay available Wednesday night. But Wednesday morning, ESPN 6:30, you can see Jeff Horn. And if he retains that welterweight title, there's talk of him giving a shot to one of the pound-for-pound best in the world.
He's not going to give a shot to anybody. Bob Arum has already told him, this is who you're going to fight should you beat Corcoran. You're going to fight Terence Crawford. And after Terence Crawford beats Jeff Horn, presumably beats Jeff Horn, it is boxing, you never know what's going to happen, then Terence Crawford is going to cash out Pacquiao for Bob Arum. That's basically how that's scripted to go. Whether or not these fighters are able to stick to the script, who knows? But according to the script, Bob Arum wants Horn to win, Terence Crawford to beat Horn, and that will set up the narrative for Terence Crawford to finally beat Manny Pacquiao, which they wanted to happen this fight. This fight was supposed to be the fight that Terence Crawford beats Pacquiao because Pacquiao was supposed to beat Horn. Well, because Bob Arum decided to call in the code red on Manny, that kind of altered the plan. And now Terence Crawford has to wait on the winner of Corcoran and Horn. Presumably he'll beat Horn, should Horn win. And then, of course, you have the Manny Pacquiao versus Terence Crawford fight. Most likely sometime next August or September, something like that.
Stephen A. Smith is with Terence Bud Crawford.
Yes, I am here with one of the greatest in the world, Terence Crawford. 32-0, 23 knockouts.
You could tell Terence is happy to be making a little bit of money. Now my man's got on the flashy shirt with the diamond encrusted crucifix. Go ahead.
Obviously, you got your eyes on this Horn corporate fight right now. How much are you looking forward to the outcome? Do you want Horn that bad, or it's just a stepping stone, I imagine?
It really don't matter which one it is, as long as I'm next in line for that title.
When you talk about the junior welterweight division, that's past. Nobody's thinking about that with you anymore. Obviously, you're looking to move up. When you look at the welterweight division, who are you targeting? I know that you don't want to be presumptuous, but obviously, considering the fact that you're one of the best in the world, you're looking at some of the big names in that division. Tell us who you're looking forward to seeing down the road.
Well, my first target is obviously Horn and Corcoran, the winner out of that fight. And after that, the sky's the limit. I'm targeting all of them.
What about folks that look at you and say, there's a concern because you're moving up from junior welterweight to welterweight, 140 to 147. Obviously, the smaller you are, the more weight matters in the sport of boxing. But how do you feel about that, moving up to the welterweight division?
They said the same things about when I moved up from 135 to 140, so I guess I got to show them.
Yeah, brother, you are going to have to show him. That's the bottom line. And 147 is going to be much tougher than 140. There's no disrespect. You are the undisputed champion at 140, or at least you were. But none of the fighters that you fought at 140 are of the caliber of the guys that you're going to have to beat at 147 in order to become undisputed at 147. If he's able to run the gauntlet at 147 and beat the guys there in the same way that he did at 140, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Right now, he's most likely a Hall of Famer for what he did at 140. But if he's able to run the gauntlet at 147 and beat the Keith Thurmans and the Errol Spences, and also most likely have to fight the Danny Garcias. Remember, they have a beef going back to the amateurs. He may even have to get in there with Mikey Garcia. And then, of course, you have Sean Porter. He gets through those guys. Then you're talking about an all-time great.
Who do you want to show most? I'm going to ask it again because I'm thinking of Keith Thurman. I'm thinking of Errol Spence Jr. I know we don't want to look ahead, but you and I have had conversations about this. You believe you're the best in the world pound for pound. Who do you want most?
Whoever the fans want. You know, I'm a fighter. I'm willing to fight anybody, any place, anytime, anywhere. And my job is to fight. My job ain't to promote. So I let my promoters and the fans pick the fights that they really want to see the most, and I just fight them.
Well, the thing is this, brother. You know, and we all know that everyone is waiting with bated breath for you to finally have that showdown with Errol Spence. So you're going to have to make that fight happen. How are you going to have to make that fight happen? By putting the pressure on your promoter, Bob Arum, to make that fight happen. Because if you get on TV and on the internet and talk all the shit that you've been talking recently about Errol Spence, and then the time comes for you to make that fight and you're talking about, well, it's a business issue, people are not going to want to hear that. If that's the case, then don't say shit. Because when you do get to that point where it's just you and Errol Spence left, you're going to have to make that fight happen. You're going to, at the very least, you're going to have to come out publicly and make sure that the boxing fans and the boxing public know that you're doing your best to make that fight happen. Because you've been talking a lot of shit on the internet the last 2 weeks or so. And that's great. You know, you guys are competitors. It's a competitive sport. But don't talk all that shit and then the time come to fight Errol Spence or to make the fight happen or to sell the fight. And now you're talking about, well, it's the issue with our promotional companies. No, people are not going to want to hear that.
What do you say to folks that look at the greatness of Terence Crawford? Like I said, 32-0, 23 knockouts. And they say, he's great. We can see it. But the quality of opponents have not been there, so we really don't know.
Yeah, people like myself. And let me give Terence Crawford a lot of credit. Because before the fight with Postol, I thought that the fight with Postol was going to be very competitive. And he turned it into an exhibition. And that is what great fighters do. Great fighters turn fights that you think are going to be tough into exhibitions. But on the flip side, there's nothing against the brother, but the guys that he beat at 140 are not impressive. They're just not. Other than Postol, I'll give him credit for. Those other guys are not impressive. And he's going to have to really show himself at 147. And it's a whole different set of animals up there. So we'll definitely get a chance to see. But all these guys at 147 have glaring flaws, glaring weaknesses that hopefully, for his sake, he'll be able to capitalize on. Keith Thurman does not take it to the body very well. Errol Spence has very poor head movement. Danny Garcia's flat-footed. Sean Porter's wild. So we'll see.
How great he is. How do you respond to that?
I beat everybody they put in the ring with me in a spectacular fashion. If you look at the fighters that I have fought in the future, well, in the past, you know, and looking at how I beat them and look how other fighters beat them, then you can judge from that. But put them in there and we'll see.
You look at the welterweight division, I've mentioned some of the names already. You know the power that some of them have, the skills that some of them have. Somebody looks at a Jeff Horn or Corcoran, and they say, yeah, but they're not even Danny Garcia. They're not Errol Spence Jr. They're not Keith Thurman or whatever the case would be. You got to go through them, obviously. But when you look at the welterweight division, what concerns do you have about yourself and what you may have to bring to the table that you didn't necessarily have to bring in the junior welterweight division?
Well, before Terence Crawford answers, let me say this. Should he get to that point where he's fighting those fighters, he is going to have to show a tremendous chin. He's going to have to show a tremendous chin because he's going to be fighting fighters that have great power and great speed and high-level skills. Keith Thurman, even though a lot of the boxing public are down on Keith Thurman right now because of his reticence to outright call out Errol Spence, which he really shouldn't be trying to do right now anyway. He's injured and he does have to fight or at least one warm-up fight to get ready for a monster like Errol Spence. Keith Thurman has a very, very high skill set. Very high skill set. Errol Spence has a very high skill set. So what I mean when I say that is one thing to have power, but without skills, you cannot land that power. Those fighters not only have power, but they have the skill to land the punch. So point being is this, Terence Crawford will have to be able to deal with that power. And, you know, he has shown that he can be wobbled, even at 135 and 140. Gamboa wobbled him. So it's gonna be a different animal for the brother. We'll see.
To be real, I don't have any concerns. I feel like I'm gonna be great in that division. I'm gonna be stronger. I'm gonna be faster, and I'm gonna be ready.
Well, be specific, and you're gonna be.
And that's good. I'm glad that the brother has such a positive outlook in regards to what he feels like he's going to do.
Gonna be faster, you're gonna be more powerful. What are we gonna see from Terence Crawford in the welterweight division that we didn't see from him earlier in his first 32 fights?
I don't like to talk about it. I like to show. You know, every fight I feel like I'm getting better and better and stronger and stronger, and I feel like I'm gonna display that in the welterweight division.
Well, y'all heard him. He don't like to talk about it. He likes to show you. We're going to see in a few months, no doubt about that. One of the best in the world, pound for pound, and one and only Terence Crawford. Back to you guys.
Stephen A., he is one of the very best, and Julius Ndongo learned that lesson with that body shot he landed in the third round.
Yes, that was a phenomenal body shot. And, I mean, that's the testament of a great fighter, when they can get knockouts both to the body and to the head. And I like what Terence said, that he wants to show it, because he is going to have to show it. You can do all the talking you want, but after you fight the winner of Corcoran and Horn, you're going to have to run that gauntlet. And let me say this, the Pacquiao fight ain't going to be easy, man. Pacquiao ain't going to be easy for anybody. I don't care who you are. And fighters know that. You get in there with Pacquiao, you playing Russian roulette. Because you're talking about a guy, even at this age right now, with great power and great speed. So, the brother Terence Crawford, we're going to find out a lot about him, I would say, in the next, by June of 2019, assuming that this society gets that far. By June of 2019, we're going to know a lot about Terence Crawford. We're going to be either calling him a first ballot Hall of Famer, or we're going to be calling him just one of many very good contenders in the welterweight division. Okay? But it's going to take a while, but everything's going to be very, very clear within the next about, year and a half, 19, 20 months. But anyway, good luck to the brother. Peace.